Hello, hello. Hope everybody is okay. It's really warm here today. We went to autumn for a little while, but now we seem to be back to the middle of summer. It's very odd. So I should really be doing a flip through of the journals that I finally finished. But I have watched 3 videos this morning while I've been finishing off some sewing. One was I watched 2 from Rachel, Roxy Creations. I watched a couple of Gayle Agostinelli's, 2, and I also watched at least one of Tina. Actually, I watched 2 from Tina because I watched her Tidy Friday from Shabby Dabby Doodah, and they were all using scraps. And I just thought, sorry, I've got to clean my glasses. I thought I have to start using some of mine. So I thought I would use a few bits up. So what I've got here, these are the square bits from the back of the Tim Holtz pages. I've got some wrapping paper here that I would probably not use generally. It was for crafting. I've got some pieces that have been cut into half and some 8x8 scrapbook papers that have been cut in half. What else have I got? I've got the little pieces as well from the back of the Tim Holtz pads and some of the squares, a few little scraps. I've got a box full of all of these are bits from my digitals that have not been used. I've got another box here of bits from digitals, and this is my scrap paper junk box. So on top of that, I have a big old pile of paper which has been cut from these little journals that I've just made. I did use up some of it, but there's an awful lot of tea dyed paper here that I can use. So I just thought, without any real plan, I've got a couple of ideas based on the videos I've seen this morning. I just thought I'd make some stuff because I was inspired to make some stuff rather than do a flip through of the journals I've finished, which is obviously something I should do. So the first thing I thought we would do is Rachel made some, I think I got these must be a Tim Holtz paper pad, but I got them in Happy Mail because I've never bought this pad, but it is absolutely lush. So I might have to dig out. This is probably one of the older Halloween ones, maybe. I don't know. But I thought I'd have to have a little go at some of these. So let's just grab a couple. These were actually bigger scrapbook pads that I've cut. Okay. Right, I've got everything to hand, I think, but there's bound to be something I need that's not here. How wide is this paper? Oh, look at that. Oh, that must be, oh, of course, this is an 8x8 paper pad. You'll see when I do my flip through. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so what I'm going to do is decide on a piece I like the most, and this is, I think Gayle made about 14 or something notebooks, so I'm pretty sure I won't be making anywhere near that amount, but I'm just lining this up to, you can't quite see where you are, but it's 17. Just grab my 17 centimetres line. It doesn't really matter. It could be anywhere. Okay, so do that. And let's do 2. I love that. But I love that. I love that. And I love that. I'm going to have the orange on the outside. Orange is not really a colour I use very much. But I do love this paper. I'm pretty sure it must be a Halloween. Because I know He doesn't always bring them back from one year to the next. The journals I've just finished are using this year's pad, so which is amazing. Absolutely love it. Okay, right, so got that. Ink, better ink it just around the edges, I think. Just had to label my little tools. I'm just going to quickly, very quickly go around the outside here. I'll do the top and down here. So yeah, I think these journals have taken me in the region of, I was thinking it must have been about 2.5, 3 weeks, but I've got a feeling it might have been even longer. I know I've done a couple of videos and said, oh, I'm making some journals at the moment, and I think they're probably nearer 4 weeks. So I'm not exactly speedy, as you all know. Right, so I'm gonna grab, this is kind of a dot paper, quite like the ends of those, and I'm gonna grab a couple of tea stained pages. Now let's have them. Just gonna roughly fold, not really. Might cut, actually. I'm going to cut that bit, tear it, and I'll have that at the bottom. I'll use this. Oh, look at that, that's awesome, isn't it? I'm going to just keep that piece. Just going to roughly make these similar sizes. I really don't want to got more scraps now. These are obviously going to be the same size roughly, so you can tear those as well. There we go. One, two, three. I think I want that beautiful piece. I have that one on the top and that one on the top. Okay, now some of this wrapping paper. I have no idea. It was a wrapping paper pad that I had in Happy Mail, and it's been kind of floating around for quite some time, but it's quite thin, so it's nice for, okay, scrap paper box. Let's have a piece of this. Get that roughly the same size. I'm not going to tear all the edges because these are obviously kind of designed to just go in a journal, and if you needed a sheet of paper, maybe you could just pull it out. Kind of like, you know, what's the word? Oh, nice piece of, let's just tear that. That ruler is quite annoying on this board. Let's try the plastic one. Right, so I'm going to have, I'm not going to have loads and loads of sheets in here. I actually want a piece of, let's have that on top. But maybe have a piece of pattern showing. So you can just see some different papers there. Now, that fits nicely here. What I want to do is I want to be able to pop this over a page in quite a big journal. So I'm holding these papers in place, and I'm just going to quickly run this through my, do I want to sew that? Okay, right. What I'm going to do, off camera is I'm going to sew around here, okay, and then I will show you what I'm going to do next. I've done the sewing. It's easier to see on that one. I'm going to put this into that crease, and now I'm going to sew along here and along here. I'll be right back. So those are sewn. Now what I decided was, I've got everything I need except a pair of scissors. Here we go. What I decided on this second one is that I was only going to sew along the bottom here. You'll be able to, you know, these will be able to tear out quite easily. I also need to, that one was sewn in a bit on the her, as we say. But those are fabulous, and I think if you had the page of a journal, if it was a big journal, you could hang that over the edge of a page and pop a paper clip on there, and this could then be decorated. Oh, I had an idea. Let's combine this book idea with Rachel's big huge tag pocket idea. So where's the big pieces? Where's the big pieces? What did I do with them? They're over here. I'm just going to grab one. Okay, just grabbed one. I'm going to ink quickly. Try and keep this. There's lots of quick ideas. What are we at? Oh, well, I'm at 14 minutes, but I'm going to be cutting out all the sewing, so we're probably a lot less than that at the moment. Okay, so I'm going back to my 17 centimetres. Okay, like that. Just going to grab my bone folder, give that a crease. Okay, now papers, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to keep this one even more simple, I think. Oh, let's see what I've got in here. What have I got in here? Oh, piece of ledger. Let's just trim this down. That was pants. That's because I knew that wasn't going to tear very well. And let's just tear it there. No, let's tear it there. A bit shorter. Well, that's probably not suitable. Oh, what have we got here? Oh, we've got a piece of oddments, I believe this is. Piece of my oddments paper. I'll put that in there. One more thing. That's a little bit too much effort. We want this easy. Here we go. That can go in there too. Oh, I don't like that piece. Let's get rid of that. Put that under there. Try and do a better job of lining them up this time when I sew. Okay, now I'm going to take, let's find something random, and on the back, that will go quite nicely. I've got my little trimmer at the ready. Let's just do one, I think. Let's go there. Trying to, like I said, I wanted to keep this a quick, lots of kind of what can we come up with. Oh, you muppet. There we go. That's okay. That's all right. Back to the trimmer. Back to the trimmer. That pocket's perfectly all right for something else. It's It's not wasted at all, it's just not being used here. Let's try again. This time we'll get it the right way around. Probably got enough ink on here. Just grab my art glitter glue. Go. And I'm going to add that to the back there. And this is the good, oh dear. Oh, glitter, I'm going to have to re-glue that now. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to put the pin back in though. If I have to clean the nozzle out in a bit, I will do, but just trying to do this. I only want a little bit of glue just to hold it in place while I sew. That's better. Okay. Right. So I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to sew all of the way around here this time. So it's not quite the same. I'll be back. So this, I've done this a little bit differently. I think this is probably the logical way to do it, unlike the first time I did it. So I've sewn all the way around the outside, and this time when I put the papers in, if I can get them so they're a bit more interesting looking, I'll tuck it under there, and this time I'm just going to sew along the top here. There we go. What I've done is I've sewn them to the flap so we can hang that over a journal, maybe put a little Tim Holtz clip of some sort there. And then this side we've got a pocket, and in this big stash of the cardstock, I think, where are they? Here. I have some smaller pieces. So that would make perfect size for a tag. So in preparation, I think what I'll do is, do I want that? Yeah, let's go a rounded corner tag on this. So that, actually I'm going to have it that way around. With a little bit of decoration and sewing, there's a little kind of flip notebook. So that, thank you to Gayle and Rachel. I'm really liking the pocket on the back of that one actually. So that's combining the two ideas that I saw this morning. Woohoo! Cooking on gas. Right, so these are smaller bits. What else have I got here? Lots of smaller bits. I've got one of these. Okay, I really want to use up some of these, move these here. I've now got a nice big pile of card and scrap there. This is just full of pieces that I've made, digital kits, cut them out, a couple of clocks, label, some more labels. I love these labels. I don't know why I don't use them very often. What else have we got in here? So we've got a single ticket. Oh, a couple of the tiny tags. That's a stamp. Oh, what have we got down here? A little Paris stamp. And a little, I mean, look, those teeny tiny tea cards that I printed. I used several of them, but I've obviously got a few left. Right. Humongous scissors. I'm not going to ink all these because the idea will be kind of like those booklets to be able to pull them out. Okay, right, I can't sew them in because you won't be able to pull them out and use them. What can I do? What can I do? Well, this might not actually turn into anything now. I've got here. Are they long enough? Oh, there. Okay. Is it going to come? Can I pull this off? Right. Okay. Got an idea. I'm going to round the corners of this. I'm going to ink this. Oh, it's a new ink pad. The old one, I think this happened last time. You know, you refill it and you refill it, and then it gets to the stage where I know people have said you can put glycerine and all sorts of things on it, but once it gets too dry, to be fair, I just buy a new one, because it gets refilled and re-inked so many times. But once you do buy a new one, it gets extremely inky. Okay, so I'm going to glue down this bit, because I don't want to make that a flappy band of any kind. I don't want flappy bands. Like I said, I've got no idea if this is gonna work. Okay. Right. Oh, you muppet. Right, okay. So that's that way round. That's now that way round. This is, let's cut a bit off here. I'm just doing this by eye, and put a corner down there. I'm going to also chomp that top corner there. Give this an ink. Blimey, have no clue really. I'm going to just, this is only because I did that upside down. I hadn't planned on putting anything both sides, but now we are. Now we are. It's exciting. It's exciting when you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so I've got a little flappy pocket there. I've got a little pocket here. I'm just going to stitch all the way around the edge. So I made yet another boo-boo, but I don't think it's a big problem. That is now a pocket, because when I lined my my sewing machine foot up with the wrong line, so the stitch that I did down the edge was a little bit further in than I'd planned. So I've now covered up that. That's now a pocket, but I'm sure we're going to be able to find something to go in there. And this also is now much tighter than I was hoping, but this is for some bits and pieces to go in here. So I don't think it's a big problem. Let's go for another clock. And I've got a little idea about how I can hold this in, as long as everything in the pocket is showing. Oh, actually, that doesn't come out. But what I thought was, I've got this roll of washi tape here, because I don't usually have washi tape on my desk, but I made a boo-boo with the journals that I'm going to show you in another video at some point. Yeah, I made a bit of a boo-boo on those, and I had to tip something in instead of, it was supposed to be the centre signature. Now I'm just going to put that washi tape there, because we all know washi is not permanent. There we go. Right, so if I need to, I should be able to pull my washi tape up and pull something out of there. And what have I got here? That's obviously much too big to go in there for a tag. Oh, in my little scrap box, let's see. Oh, that's a gorgeous one from the Tag fabrication kit. I'm going to put that in there. So that is another little what's it thing to pop into another pocket in a journal. Oh, yeah, we are cooking on gas. How many? On 30 minutes, but like I said, I know I'm going to be reducing that. Right, now I've got, oh, did I cut those all up? Oh yeah, I did. These were the little squares, which I had intended on leaving some whole. Let's take another one of these. Right, so scrapbook card folded in half. This will be a good use thingy, what's it, idea for those of you that don't have a scan and cut or a die to cut your, let's see if this works. Okay, now this is a folded piece, and this is just a, it says 2 inches. Don't be fooled. It's 2 inches from corner to corner, which is no way to measure anything, even a TV. Totally confusing. I'm lining this up. I've got a little bit sticking out either side, so I'm hoping that's fairly central. I don't want to do it like that. I want to do it like this. So I'm lining it up with 1/2. Pop that out. That was very loud. I apologise. Now, bringing in my... I'm trying to speed craft here because I just want to come up with some stuff. Let's see. Okay, number 1. Let's try it. If you haven't got a square punch, let's try it with a circle punch. And I'm going in from the top because if you go in from the side, it's not going to be in the centre. So, kind of measuring by eye, halfway. Pop that out. Okay, now we've obviously got the circle and the square somewhere to use. That's quite a long wide one, so what I'm going to do is just trim that as well, making the bottom slightly bigger than the top. I've actually come in, let's trim a little bit. This could be one of those haircut moments where you trim a bit, trim a bit, trim a bit, and it ends up being extremely short. Now, I've got my small corner rounder. Oops. Actually, that probably will look big there. Probably will look better with the bigger one. Okay. Wonderful job. And there you have it. You've got some little slides. You can obviously cut both out if you want it transparent. You could make your cardstock smaller, but we've got a round one and a square one there. So you could absolutely bulk make these, and you can use a scrap piece of cardstock. You don't need a huge piece, or even plain, and then add some stamps and things like that. So another little idea. I think these are great, actually. Perfect. Right, what else? What else? What have we got? What have we got? It's like speeding through. Okay, these are some of the, you know, those little cards. The ATCTCB, what's it? More paper, and again, perfect fit. Let's see. Right, I'm going to grab my needle, grab my thread. I'm going to do a very, very tiny 3-hole pamphlet stitch on this. I'm not going to measure, I'm not going to line it up, I'm going to do nothing but stick my needle in. Okay, so I'm going to go in the middle, and I'm just going to, you see those 3 little holes? Just done that completely by eye. Let's go in through the middle hole, This is obviously not a how to sew a journal tutorial, so I'm not going to give you, I do have a video on how to do this. 3-hole and a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, which apparently somebody found very confusing why we all do it different ways, but at the end of the day, if you have excuse me, if you have a large journal, sometimes 5 holes just gives you that little bit more stability. I actually like the look of a 5-hole pamphlet stitch as well in a journal. So, you know, that's, oh no! That's why this is not a tutorial. We're just making little bits for journals. And obviously I think I'm probably going to be using more scraps throughout the day and keep making after I stop filming. So I'm going to come up the other side. This thread is absolutely amazing. I actually get it from Shepherds of London, which is, they are a bookbinding specialist. But I love the feel of this thread. It's very, very thin. It's waxed linen and it's super, super, super thin but strong. Okay, so there, another little notebook. So that's another thing done. Have we got time for one more thing? Have we got time? I would like to make a large tag thing. I'm going to have that piece there. What are the others like? Got lots of different paper pads here. Love that. Oh, actually I'm going to go for that. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, that's so difficult. I think I'm going to go that way round. I'm going to make a giant tag pocket thing, inspired by the one that Rachel did. Did I put my pin back in there? Oh, I don't remember if I did. Okay. So must remember to do these the right way round. Actually, I think I'm going to do one of each. So I'll have a low pocket and then a higher pocket. And I'm just going to literally line this up on here to see how much bigger I want that second pocket to be. Let's go there. And I think they'll probably, now it's against that, I don't actually like it. As much. That works for me much better. Okay, so I'm going to just line these up. I'm going to do kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm sorry, I couldn't help that. Perfect. Right, now got my corner edgy thing. Probably not quite big enough for this task. Right. Ink. I'll speed this up. You don't have to watch me ink. So here we have our supersized tag. It is going to be quite flexible, but I'm okay with that, and I will explain the reason why. Basically, is if you're putting a huge tag like this in a journal, or even attaching it to the front of a journal, you don't want it to be too bulky. Now, I'm not going to glue. I'm gonna go straight in with some sewing, taggy pocket thing. So I've got one of the little booklets would go quite nicely in there. Where's the one we made? There we go. And then we could also have our little slide once we've finished it in the bottom there, and that actually is now making that pretty sturdy. We just need something at the top there, don't we? Actually, I'm not sure I'm going to at the moment because I don't know what we might do with that later. But yeah, love it, love it. So thank you for that idea, Rachel. That's definitely one I'm going to be doing a lot more of. So I think we should call it a day. Probably about half an hour now. What have we done? Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited that I watched these videos this morning. So we have not quite our 14 like Gayle. I wish I could work that way. We have our 3 little flippy notebook things. We have our tiny mini ephemera folder with bits held in with washi tape, and I'm definitely going to be making more of these because these are a great way to use up bits that you've cut out, and then you can keep them in your journal to be able to journal with. We've made our giant tag pocket. Oh, and obviously one of these has the pocket on the back too, which I think is fabulous. We have our tiny little weenie notebook, and we have our specimen slides. So I don't think that's so bad. It's taken me 45 minutes. Yay! I think that's probably the fastest I've made anything in a very long time. So I'm really pleased with myself. But I have an awful lot of things to still use up. So I am going to keep crafting and using up my bits of Tim Holtz and scrap papers and things like that. Thank you so much for coming along. Please stay safe, and I will see you all soon. Bye.